As I say, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me on today's masterclass, where we'll be looking at the connected reception experience in CoolCare. My name's Sam. I'll be taking you through today's session. And as I'm sure you all know, CoolCare here, we are here to make operating your care home easier, more efficient, and more profitable. So to do that today, we're going to be looking at the connected reception experience. So you're aware, you can answer questions as we go through today's masterclass. There'll be a member of our team available to answer any questions during the session. You should see the Q&A option on Zoom. If you click into that, you can then ask a question in there, and a member of our team will be able to answer that for you on there. We will leave the session open for a little bit after we've completed today's masterclass, just for 5 or 10 minutes or so to answer any of the questions people might have after the fact as well. So you don't have to worry about rushing your way through it. We will have some time afterwards to address any questions that you might think of. But as to today's masterclass will be slightly different to the ones we've been doing previously. This one, we're going to be showing you a few additional offers that CoolCare has alongside our main system with what we call our connected reception experience, looking at our biometric clocking devices, our virtual notice board, and our digital visitors book. Now, some people might be using some of these already, but for those who aren't, this session's to show you what else CoolCare can offer alongside our main system to help improve your reception experience, specifically looking at it from both your staffing side, your residents, and any visitors you've got to the home. So we'll be seeing all 3 parts of these. I'll be demoing a little bit for you and explaining how you can best use these to, get the most out of it and essentially improve the home experience for everyone involved. Now, the first part of that we'll be looking at is our biometric clocking system. If I just go into our next slide. This is kind of an alternative to what you might be using already, our fob-based system. If you're using our Nomads fobbing system for staff members clocking in and out, this is essentially an alternative to that using facial recognition instead. So rather than your staff having to rely on using the fobs for clocking in and out, which can get lost and they can go missing, they might forget them one day and not be able to clock in. Your staff members, they can even give them to someone else to clock them in for them, preventing stuff like that by using a facial recognition device as well. What we call our biostation. Essentially, you put it up on a wall like you would with our old fobbing machine, and rather than having to press a fob against it, staff member just taps on the screen, it brings up a camera, it recognizes their face, it then clocks them in or clocks them out on there. Simple to set up, and the same, you just assign your staff onto it. It's connected to your CoolCare system, so it will be able to pick up a list of staff members on there, and then you can go into there in the admin side of it, pick a staff member, get it to scan their face, and then they're registered and ready to start clocking in and out. As easy as that. It will then links up to your CoolCare system like our fobbing system does if you're using that, and it automatically creates events on your timesheets to see your staff clocking in and out on there, linking into all that side of things, and getting your staff hours onto the system. As well as that, it can give the staff ability to enroll others, so it doesn't have to be one person in charge of getting everyone scanned and making sure they're able to clock in and out. You can give people the ability to go into the admin side of it and access that staff list to assign people onto it as they go. And the main difference between this, the other main difference between this and our the fobbing system that you might be using is this uses an actual internet connection. The like I say, old system, the fobbing system on there that you might use already uses essentially a mobile signal, like a mobile phone would. This actually uses the internet, which can either be a wireless one connecting through Wi-Fi, or we do have a wired one as well, where you can plug a cable into it and connects from that. So it's a bit more stable. Your mobile signal somewhere can drop out, and depending on where you are in the country, it might be stronger in some areas than others. So this one's a bit more of a more stable and reliable option on there. So this is a say for your staffing to be able to clock in and out with that, and say an alternative option if you want to kind of modernize a little bit rather than using the fobs, which can be, obviously can be forgotten, they could be lost, and people can even, take of someone else committing, could be potential time fraud on there, not to get too serious on that. But with the fobs, there's always those risks of those things happening, where with this, you can't fake someone's face. It's just a matter of scanning it, and then they can get clocked in and out using that as well. And it's much quicker as well, nice and easy. Just tap the screen, recognize your face, clocked in, as easy as that on there. So that's to say kind of the first area of our connected reception is looking at your staffing on that and using that to get them clocked in and out of the building easily enough through that. And that can actually link into our second bit. Once the staff are clocked in, they can appear on our virtual notice board. So if I go to our next slide. The virtual notice board is a device that you can plug into any screen you've got in the home. It could be in your reception area, it could be anywhere around the home where you've got a TV or a monitor, and it can display information relating to the home on it from there. And it's a small device, you just plug it into the TV with a cable, plug it into the power, and it's able to be set up and working from there. So as you can see, it can display a variety of information. It's going to say just an electronic notice board. It can show you stuff like your staff that are currently in the home using the clocking system from our clocking that we've just seen. It can show you can set up stuff like events going on in the home, menus for resident meals, any information you can think of really you can pop in on there and it will show up on the virtual notice board from that. Although it's fully customizable, everything you see on there can be done through CoolCare, can be set up on CoolCare system, and you can see all that through it. So I'm actually going to show you a demo one I've got set up already. Bear me 1 second. I'm just going to swap over to my demo sites. I can get that loaded up for you. Right, if I share my screen now. So this is kind of what a demo VNB can look like. You imagine this would be on, on a TV screen, and it can show you all the information you've got. It can show you which staff are currently clocked in, as I mentioned there. It can show you events you've got going on in the home, and you can set up those to say whatever you want on there and have images for any events you've got showing up for that. It can even show you today's menu, as we can see there. So you can set up menus for your kitchen for residents to be aware of, and they pop up through that. So it just tells you your different meals you've got for your residents going on every day in there. It can even show you any upcoming events, which unfortunately is empty on mine. I did have something in there before, but like today's events, it would just show you any other upcoming ones coming up on there, so you can see what's going on in the home for visitors and residents in there. And you can even have custom pages on there, such as showing specific web pages, showing images, stuff you've got on there. You can easily customize everything on the VNB with that, including all the branding on there as well. So I've got a logo in the top right corner. That can be your company logo to show the information through that. You can have contact details on there down the bottom, as well as just some more general information there, the time and date it's got in there as well. So it's always updating in real time. You can see it just scrolls through the options you've got set up, and you can customize how long it stays and everything for, how long it's then stays on the next thing. You can freeze it on a certain page if you just want to stay on a certain thing. It can stay on just one part of it with that as well. And the idea is this communication shows everyone knows what's going on in the home. Anyone that's visiting, any of the staff that's wandering around, all your residents that are in the home as well. It gives you a clear message to everyone what's happening. Your visitors, staff and residents, the home is active and everyone's being kept informed of what's going on with your activities and everything in there. And it's all managed through a config that you can get through CoolCare itself, our virtual notice board manager here. So you can access this through CoolCare, just to show you on CoolCare. Oh, let me just show that. Under the care home section, you can have the VNB configuration, and you can set up access to CoolCare so people would only see that as well, so they can just access that if they need to go onto the VNB. And through the manager here, they can then set up essentially the system to how it works. So you've got your general settings on there showing you what's going on with it, and the branding. You can customize the logo on there. You can manage what pages show up, kind of what order it shows up in there, how long it stays on there for. And as I say, you can freeze it on a certain page if you just wanted to show one certain bit of information as well. And you can add custom pages onto there, like I say, for specific websites you want to enable, or have got images and branding stuff you want to pop on there as well. You can add those on as custom pages. It could be a way of showing off reviews for the home, feedback you've been given, anything you can think of really you can put in through the pages on here. And it's all controlled by this calendar view. So essentially you set up a calendar in the VNB to say what's going on what days, and that will then transfer over to the virtual notice board itself to show you what's going on specific days. So this is looking at just this month's calendar. I've got my menu in there. I've got my regular events. The idea being, your admin can preload. It could be stuff like residents' birthdays you can have in there as special events for the next year, 6 months, how far ahead you want to go. The chef can load up all your menus in there, and someone can have so you can see all your menus again repeating in there. With that, you can have your activities team looking in there and putting in activities and events that's going on in the home for your residents in there. And you can even be, have whoever you want essentially accessing this to be able to add stuff onto this calendar, saying what's going on and when you want stuff to show up. It all pops up into the calendar on here. And you can see exactly what it's going to show you through today's view as well. So I can say what's displaying today, what events I've got going on, what previous events I've had in the home that would show on a certain page, or future events as well, and our menus that can all set up that. So it's all, like I say, fully customizable with what's going on in the home, showing you exactly what's happening, and you can have full control over what it's going to show you, everything on there. There's also, say, stuff like privacy settings, where you can see your staff clocking in and out, and say you can always preview the VNB at any time through the through the manager itself, which then pops up onto here, as you can see. And this, essentially what I've got on here is the same as what the actual device itself would be displaying and just scrolling through at the same kind of time. And it can be updated at any point, so you can always update this, refresh it, and it will always show you exactly what's going on as you need to see it. As simple as that. So the virtual nurse board is a great little thing you can have on there, and you can have one just connected up to a TV in your reception area, showing you, so anyone that immediately steps into the home, they can see what's going on, and you can easily see what's happening in there. And with homes I've visited doing training myself, it's I've seen the VMBs, and it's always nice to see them scrolling through stuff, the information, and having people using them. So it's always like sets a nice atmosphere, showing you so you can actually see what's going on in their home, and that way you've got that kind of clear information going on to everyone and keeps everyone up to date and informed. So that's your virtual notice board there. Like I say, nice thing to see as people are coming into the home in your reception area. Now, I'm just going to swap back to my presentation once again. And if I share that with you, we should now see our digital visitors book. So, as people are in your reception area looking at the VNB and getting them and seeing what's going on in the home, we can have them to sign in and have their information available for us as well. So rather than having it might be, an old-fashioned paper book you've got in there for visitors signing in and out, we can instead have a digital version using our digital visitors book on here. And it's kind of two parts to it, as you can see on there. It's accessed through a website like CoolCare itself, so you don't need anything special for it. As long as it can access the internet, a device can get that digital visitors book opened up. Usually loaded onto a tablet or something similar like that to have them, any visitors to the home, signing in and out. The idea being you can set this up with different types of visitors. It might be for visitors to the home, the residents signing in and out. You can have your staff members using it. Anyone you want to get their information, you can use this visitors book on here. And like the VMB, it's fully customizable, so you can have, customize the branding on there, the image it shows you, the information it's asking for as well. And it can even prompt people for feedback when they're signing out of it as well. All that feedback and visitor info is then gathered and put onto the admin side of things, as you can see on the computer bit there, where you can access that separately like CoolCare. Again, it's just a website you can get onto. And through that, you can customize the experience on the tablet side of it and through the visitor side of it. And where all your information is then gathered, you get all your people's the visitors information in there. You get all your feedback put through that, and like I say, you can then customize what you're asking of people and all that information as well. And as well as that, it's also integrated with Autumna, the care home review website. If you use that, it can gather the feedback in real time and put that straight onto there for you as well. So again, I'm going to show you what this can look like as you're using it. So I'm just going to swap over my screen one more time. We should be able to see if I just share my screen there. So this is the kind of thing a visitor would see. Imagine, this would be on a tablet in your reception area. And when someone visits the home, they can then use this option on here. They have the option to, choose what they are, visitor residents. They can also have these QR codes on them, which means they can scan this with their mobile. And rather than having to stand at the, stand in your reception area and do this on here, they can instead do it on their mobile, either signing in or out with that. It just opens up the same kind of page on their mobile for them. So if we say I'm signing in as a visitor, I can pop my details in. It will ask me if I'm arriving or leaving. We can choose which one we're doing. And then we've got our details to fill out. Somehow it's already filling my email automatically on there. But so we can pop in our information and you can, choose what information you require of people. So you can see there, the required ones are just their name. The extra stuff is email and mobile number. But you can choose what information is required of someone when they're signing in. So I'll pop my name in there. So I'm not sure where it's picked up that email from, but it is in there already. So I'll leave that in there. And the mobile is optional as well. So I'm not going to put something in that side. And once we submit that information, you can also customize what extra details you might ask of someone. It might be their car registration number for your car park. It could be if they're, visiting a visiting professional, the company they're coming from, or if it's multiple people in a party, you can say the size of that party as well. And again, you can make this information required or optional. And again, this is just an example of what they might have. You could ask anything you want of them. Any information you want of someone as they're signing in can all go through onto here. Again, this is all optional for me at this point, so I'm going to just submit. And you can even see there, it can ask who they're visiting. And this could be a staff member in the home if it's a professional visiting, for example, a trainer coming in, doing some training for your staff members. Or it could be, obviously a family member coming in to visit a resident in there. They can type up their details and add them as a person as well in there. Well, that's all they're coming to do work in the home, stuff like that. Or we can, again, skip past it as well. But with that then filled in, again, any extra information you want to someone, it could be, some information you want them to know about while they're in the home on that day. They can have, extra details there and a confirmation to say, yep, we've read that and we're all good. Confirm that again. And there we are. I've now signed in as a visitor to the home. And once that reloads, to sign out, it's very much done the same way. Going through here, we just use the same option for visitors there. And this time I'm leaving, so I can pop in as I'm leaving on there. Again, I need to fill out my details on that. So again, I'm just going to pop in my name in that one. It's not picked up the email this time, but we'll leave that, so that's okay. And submit. And as the person is leaving, this is where you can then ask them for feedback. And again, the feedback is fully customizable. You can ask people certain questions of what you want to know about, so what parts of the home and their visits you want feedback on. And it's the same, all different things, and it can be different types of feedback. So we can do 1 through 5 stars on there, like that. And as a quick question, it goes to the next one. You can see we can have kind of a agree, disagree kind of situation, thumbs up, thumbs down there with certain questions. With those, we've got some more stars on these. I can even have kind of different emotion reactions there, happy, unhappy with how satisfied they are. Very happy with that one. You can even have the feedback as just a free text field. I can type in there whatever I want. Let's make time today. Hopefully, whatever feedback you want from someone, they can give it to you as there. And again, the feedback is customized via the type of visitor. So it might be for certain visitors, certain feedback is applicable. Sometimes it might not be. And again, the feedback is also optional as well. So they can, if they want us to just scroll past it, if they're not worried about leaving any feedback on there. But we'll pop in again, just do the last bit of feedback on here. And you can see you can have a lot of feedback on this. You can ask them as many questions as you want as well. There's no limits to how much you can ask someone through that as well. And once we've given all that feedback, we can submit that, and that will go through as feedback on the system, and that's me signed out and dealt with. So that's the kind of device side of things. They would be able to say visitors using that, popping in their details, leaving feedback as they want. And I say this could just be for visitors, residents signing out and back in if they leave the home temporarily with that. It could be for contractors you've got. It could be for, industry professionals coming to visit your staff members. Anything like that you can think of, we can have visitors set up for them. And again, that's all fully customizable. You can set up the different profiles for visitors on there. And that's all done through the admin side, which I'll just show you briefly on here. We'll go into that. This is where you would find all the feedback that's been gathered by the visitors, that's been left by them. And you can see it kind of like your group levels, some basic stuff just on a dashboard here with that. You've got all your configuration where you can set up, the different devices that they're using, the profiles for different types of visitors, the feedback they would give, the information you ask of them, all that kind of thing is done through that on here. And it's also where you find all your, analysis and feedback stuff. So if I go into analysis here, I can kind of see a breakdown of feedback that I've been given by different types of visitors on there that I've got set up, and you can customize that, what you're looking at in there, and drill down into stuff. If I click into feedback on here, I can see then all the feedback that was left on there of a certain type and a certain visitor. So I can see any negative feedback there left by visitors. We can look at it in a bit more detail and see what's going on for it on there. So if I go to my visitor feedback, there should be one in there from myself right at the top there. And so you can see that feedback in full detail, all the questions you're asked and all the stuff that they answered with on there. So you've always got that feedback available to look into, and even better, you can even actually export it out from the system. I can go to a feedback list here, see all the feedback that's been gathered. I can narrow this down and then export this out of the system as a CSV on here. And it's great, as I say, gathering all that feedback, and it's just essentially really useful to have. The big thing with it as well is digital visitors book can feed into Autumna, as I mentioned briefly, in the care home kind of directory. And essentially any kind of 5-star ratings can get then automatically sent over to Autumna, which kind of boosts the home presence online on the websites, and even then boosts your kind of presence looking at search engines. Google can weight the feedback and reviews heavily, so if you've got a bunch of good reviews, that can go onto there and basically kind of boost your rankings in search engines when people are looking for the homes. Autumna themselves said they kind of had a trial home using this digital visitors book, and they went from 5 reviews in like 3 years to more than 40 in a single month, which then boosted their kind of native catchments and ranking higher in kind of search and stuff. And basically means more people were interested in the home because they've got all the reviews coming in, all this positivity coming from the digital visitors book, then feeds back into potentially more business for the home itself. And that's all required part of the digital visitors book itself. That's all kind of included in this part of the system. It just requires a premium or Tumblr accounts on that side of things to be able to link them together and have that feedback come through straight away. So the digital visitors book is, I say, in my opinion, great great thing to have because, I say, rather than having just an old book sat somewhere where people might occasionally look at it for different like that. The big thing is really gathering that feedback on there. It means you can get all this feedback from either visitors, staff members, residents, anyone you want, be giving feedback as they're signing in and out, and all that then comes onto here to see it, and you can do whatever you like with that from there. And again, this kind of can automatically link in with CoolCare as well, kind of essentially populating your list of staff and residents from CoolCare to say then who they're visiting as they are coming into the home. So let's see, there's kind of our 3 parts to our connected reception experience. And let's see, it all kind of links into each other as you go, with the clocking, that then links into your virtual notice board, and your feedback from the digital visitors book here could go onto your virtual notice board as well. It all kind of feeds into one another, and you've got then a full experience of your reception area with people visiting the home, whoever they might be. But in essence, that's all there is to it. To show you for the moment, I'm just going to go back to my presentation one more time. To let you know, our next few kind of masterclasses we'll be doing will be on the 3 different parts of this connected reception as well. So if you want to know more about them in terms of how they're set up, how they're working, and how they interact with CoolCare as well, we'll be able to go through those on our different sessions coming up in the next month or so. Just to finish things off, if you are interested in more training on CoolCare, whether you're charged of financing, payroll, rota management, tracking residents, any part of CoolCare you use, you can work with our product specialist, myself and the other trainers we have, either online or in person. And if you're aware, you might be entitled to some free of charge training as well. Every customer, as part of their CoolCare subscription, will have 2 30-minute free of charge training sessions, which can be combined into a 60-minute session as well. If you're interested in any of that, you can contact our training team, either email us training@coolcare.co.uk, or you can phone us as well, 0113 385 3853. And I think we can get some training organised, booked in for whatever it might be. Anything you think of you want training on, we'll be able to help you with that. And as I mentioned, our next session out of the 3 things we've looked at today, we'll be focusing on the virtual notice board. That'll be in 2 weeks' time. We'll be looking at the VNB and how all the setup of that works and how everything that goes into that as well on there. So thank you all for joining me today for today's masterclass. Hopefully I'll see you next time. We'll be looking at the VNB in a bit more detail if you are interested in that. And if you want any more further training, you can contact us however you need to. We will leave as I mentioned at the start, we'll leave this room open for about 5 minutes or so, just to gather any of the questions people might have. So we're not going to be going anywhere. We'll have it open for a bit more for any questions you might have available for us today. So if you're not getting more questions, thank you for joining me today. And if you have any more questions, feel free to use the Q&A and we'll be able to answer some of them for you. So thank you all for coming.